Sanne, good to see you. And if that's all right, I would like to start by introducing myself first, because it's not like I'm famous or popular. So if that's okay, if I could take a minute to introduce myself. My name
Sure.
is Maciej. I am 38 years old. I live in Poland, and I'm my wife's husband. I am my parents' son. I am my brother's brother, and yeah, I just live my peaceful life in Poland. I have retired from the gambling industry about 10 years ago. So that was my main profession. And currently, I manage properties. I rent out properties that I have invested in. And other than that, it doesn't take much time for me. I don't spend much time on these tasks. So I contemplate life. I think about life. I meditate. I dive into self-discovery process. And the effect of that is my YouTube channel and the community I created. And I keep um, my involvement and engagement in that area. And I think that's where we meet, basically, because I am interested in the topics you talk about on YouTube, and this is how I discovered you. And I am very grateful that you found the time to have this talk. So yeah, that's just a little bit of introduction of myself, and maybe you could return the favor and say a few words about yourself.
Yeah, of course. Well, my name is Sanne. And yeah, like you said, I have a YouTube channel where I talk about everything like human behavior, psychology, a little bit of philosophy. And in my day-to-day life, I also help people with these things. So I'm a coach. I help people overcome perfectionism and overcome like self-criticism, work on their self-image. So yeah, that's me.
Okay, and you live in Barcelona currently?
I have lived in Barcelona, but now I live back in the Netherlands. Like
Okay, cool.
I'm always going a bit back and forth, so
Okay,
gonna
so
go back to Bali in a bit.
in Bali.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And so
Yeah.
you coach people from around the world, I suppose, not in both languages, in both Dutch and English, I suppose.
Actually, right now I've only coached Dutch people,
Hmm.
but I'm definitely open to coach in other well, not other languages in English then,
Sure.
but because most of my content, except for YouTube, is in Dutch,
Hmm.
so far most of my clients were Dutch.
Sure. Sure. Okay, thanks. And I'd like to do part two, let's say, after a short introduction. Um, Basically, if I could ask you for a few intuitions about certain subjects. Uh, I'll tell you a few words, phrases, and if you could tell me your first few thoughts, first intuitions, like how um, close it is to your heart, or it's like personal, or you don't care about the stuff. And so maybe that will help us direct further, if that's all right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
let's do it.
first phrase, intellectualization.
Yeah, that's something I'm very familiar with. I also made a few videos about this. It's something I've definitely struggled with.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And could you say like the essence of your core message, and maybe we'll dive deeper into that?
Well, I think we often use intellectualization as a coping mechanism. So when there's a lot of emotions or things we struggle with, it can feel easier to kind of disengage
Hmm.
by going into our heads.
Hmm.
So instead of truly feeling the feelings that are underneath, so feeling a certain pain, feeling scared or whatever, we try to go away from it, try to control it by putting words on it, by like pushing it away from our emotional world and going into our cognitive world.
Hmm. Okay, thank you.
And which
Yep.
can feel really safe and it definitely has benefits, but it also creates trouble
Hmm.
because like feelings are our directors, like they guide us. So when we always try to make decisions and always try to understand things rationally,
Hmm.
yeah, that can move us away from what we truly need.
Hmm. We'll definitely return to that topic. Um, but so yeah, like a brief intuition about perfectionism.
I think perfectionism comes from it often comes from fear. Also the fear of not being good enough. So we start to believe that I can keep myself safe if I do everything perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's like when you're perfectionistic, everything kind of feels like a test. Like your life is a test where you need to prove yourself. So every little mistake you make starts feeling like a personal failure. It's not like, oh, I made a mistake or I feel that something is like, I am a failure,
Mm-hmm.
which, leads to many negative consequences. Like, you're not taking on opportunities because you're afraid you cannot do it.
Mm-hmm.
Also being a lot in your head, being really afraid to make mistakes. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good on the
Okay.
long term.
Okay. Yeah. Well, after you said it, it's not good. I am definitely going to return to that. It's yeah. It's yeah. It
Well, I don't want to
you
be
you
so
you
black
you
and white
you
because
caught my attention. Yeah. But yeah.
yeah,
Let's
it's
let's
it's
let.
not it's
Mhm.
not like good or bad. It
Yep.
definitely has also positives,
Sure.
but we can use this and work on the negative aspects of it.
Absolutely.
Because like the positive aspects of perfectionism can be like things that are very closely related to ambition and like striving for better. But that only is positive if we can work on the negative consequences of this feeling.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Thank you. How about free
Yeah.
will?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I have always found this very interesting because I always struggled with a lot of things. Like, I always felt like I was sabotaging myself. And I wanted to do things differently so bad, but some
Mm-hmm.
things I just couldn't. I was just stuck. And
Mm-hmm.
I started thinking, like, am I choosing this? Like, why am I acting this way?
Mm-hmm.
And over time, I started seeing in myself, in clients, that even though we feel like we make decisions, it's often all these unconscious things that direct us way more than we're even aware of.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like below the line, I don't know, like none of us truly know if we have free will. But I'm starting to believe more and more that we do not. And
Mm-hmm.
there's also like some research to support that
Sure.
our brain already has made the decision before we become aware of it. So super interesting.
Sure. Especially, I think from what I heard that you emphasize the importance of environment on behavior, basically. I
Yes.
think that's very related.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. How about red pill?
Uh,
Are
I
you
have to say,
familiar? Yeah.
I know what it is. Yeah, yeah, I know
Yeah.
what it is. I haven't looked into it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's like from the Matrix, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
like the uncomfortable truths
Mm-hmm.
are better than like than a comfortable lie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know enough about this topic to like
Sure.
or about what it means to really go into that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, meditation.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I actually have meditated for a long while. I'm not doing it now. Um, but I think it can be super, super important to get into contact more with your body, but also to get more awareness of your thoughts. Because I think most of the time we kind of live on autopilot, and this kind of goes hand in hand with like, well, not hand in hand with free will, but we're living on autopilot and we're not aware even of what we're thinking and what's driving us. And I think meditation can help really well with creating this awareness
Mm-hmm.
and also getting in contact with ourselves, with learning to be present, which is one of the most important things also for happiness and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm. Cool.
yeah.
Thank you. I have three more, I think. Weightlifting.
That's that's my kryptonite. No, I think many of the things that I am now interested in, it all started when I started with self-improvement
Mm-hmm.
because I started going to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely an important topic. I've also worked as a personal trainer. Yeah, like it really helped me overcome a lot of my own insecurities
Sure. Is it still
and
present
taught
in
me
your
a lot.
life? Do you still uh, work out?
Uh, yeah, like I I do work out. I also still in my coaching, weight training is still an important aspect of it
Absolutely.
because it's one of the like if you're gonna do one thing for your health, it's the
It's
best thing is
sleep.
gonna be weightlifting.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe that comes before. Sleep and eating, breathing is
Yeah.
also quite
Yeah, it's the
important.
same. Yeah, yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but not in terms of like bodybuilding shows. This
Mm,
stage is over for you, or
I have never done that, and I also am not planning on ever doing a bodybuilding competition. I do have a lot of friends who do, though.
okay, yeah, because that's what I assumed from the interview I saw that you met your friend at the bodybuilding show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
So,
but it's I was just watching the show,
okay, sure,
not
sure,
I wasn't there like
absolutely,
competing.
yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, two more. Diet.
Um, yeah, that's also super closely related to what I do with my work. It's like diet is such an important aspect of how we feel.
Hmm.
So you can work on yourself mentally all you want, but if your body's not healthy, if you're not energizing it, nourishing it enough, like you can do all you want mentally, but you're still not gonna feel good.
Yeah. Could you share like a brief um, essence of how you approach diet these days? Like what you eat, like how much, like what is your relationship with food, if that's all right to ask, and like
Yeah, of
how
course.
how is it working out for you? Yeah.
Yeah, what might be interesting to add is I've been vegan for 9 years.
Hmm.
And now for the last 1.5 years, I would say, I've been a bit more flexible with this. So I still do not eat meat. I don't eat eggs, but
Hmm.
I do sometimes eat like milk products or cheese just because like I was really, I felt like being vegan decreased my life quality a lot because very often when I went out with friends, like I had to say like, no, I cannot go to that restaurant because they don't have anything for me.
Hmm.
Or when I was at the airport, there was nothing I could eat. And it became like such a big hurdle in my life that now like I still eat 95% vegan,
Hmm.
but just a bit more flexible. And that is also like really my philosophy when it comes to diet. Also for my clients, like it's not about perfection.
Hmm.
It's about imperfect consistency.
Hmm.
So it's better to make the right choices, but have a little bit of flexibility, do some things that are maybe less optimal when it comes to health,
Hmm.
but that help you in the long run to make it durable.
Hmm. Sure. Thank you very much.
And yeah,
Yep.
when it
Hmm.
comes to my relationship with food, like that's definitely very healthy right now. Yeah.
Perfect.
The
Perfect.
only thing, like I sometimes still use food as a coping mechanism. Like, for example, when I'm feeling like really stressed, like food is still the thing, food or like scrolling on my phone, for example, like most people probably will recognize, are still things that I sometimes rely on, but it's so much better than it used to be, and there's like no self-criticism anymore, so that's great.
Sure. You say that it's healthy now, but did you have like big struggles in the past, or it was somewhat not perfect? I mean, not perfect, not so healthy.
Yeah. Well, when I started weight training, I think many women go through a
Mm.
period when they just start where they get super strict on diet. And I was definitely not eating enough, and I was like tracking my calories, and I felt really bad when I like because I wasn't nourishing my body enough, like
Mm-hmm.
that pressure would build up, and then I would kind of like overeat, and then I would feel super bad about myself and stuff. So then you get kind of like in this cycle. Then you're
Sure.
like, oh, now I need to like what's the word for it? Um, I can find the right word, but like the next day I need to compromise.
Sure.
So and then you get kind of in this cycle. It
Mm-hmm.
keeps itself alive. Yeah.
Sure. Would you say that you've played the wrong game,
Mm,
counting calories and
no,
having like strict diet?
because
Yep.
well, for me personally, I would say no, because having this experience now helps me actually understand my clients and also understand like you can only really see what works if you've also experienced what didn't work. Otherwise, it's just what it is, and you cannot see like, oh, this is actually working and this is actually helping because you have nothing to compare it to. If that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, I was trying to refer to one of your videos about playing the wrong game, and that's why I ask if like
Oh
being too
yeah.
strict on a diet is a wrong game. What are the wrong games and what are the correct games in your view?
When it comes to diet,
Just generally, like what is the wrong game and what is the correct game based on the message you shared in that video.
yeah. Well, very often we have these rules for ourselves. Like
Hmm.
during our lives, we build up these rules, like I have to be like this. This is gonna get me success. This is gonna get me
Hmm.
status. And we start living in accordance to this. And we believe that like if I work towards this as my goal, I'm gonna be happy. Because that's what we believe will get us like love and acceptance. But very often it's not what we actually want and need.
Hmm.
So like for example with me with the diet I was
Hmm.
like if I look a certain way and I get there then I'm gonna be happy and people are gonna like look up to me and that they're gonna think positively of me, but it's not the right game
Hmm.
because it's not what actually makes you happy, it's what you think will make you happy or what you it's not what you want, it's what you think you should be,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense. However, I think there's I had a similar thought around perfectionism, but let's start here because you said it. You're thinking it will make you happy, but it's maybe a wrong approach. But would you agree that it does influence the level of your satisfaction or your happiness levels? Basically, how you look.
Yes, yeah, I think it does, especially if it makes you feel better.
Hmm.
So, weight training, eating healthier, in the end, it has definitely helped me.
Hmm.
Um, wait, what was your question again?
Yeah, like does it
That it makes you
influence the
happier,
level of
right?
happiness? Yeah, maybe like would you how
Yeah.
much would you agree with the statement that your diet and your performance and your body aesthetics are important, but they are not as important as you neurotically imagine them to be?
Okay, let me just
Yep.
tell about what most of my clients experience and what I
Mm-hmm.
also
Mm-hmm.
experienced. So, you think when my body looks a certain way, then I'm going to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You reach it, but it was never about the body. It was about this feeling that you already had inside, like I'm not good enough. I need to prove myself. I need to
Mm-hmm.
change myself. When you get to the to the goal that's mostly externally motivated, that feeling is still inside. So you're like, okay, now nobody can see I suck and I'm not good enough, but
Mm-hmm.
inside you still feel it. So you become super afraid of losing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I very often see this with people that have been training for a while and they're looking good. And then they come in my coaching and they're like, I cannot be flexible in my diet. If I don't train for a day, I feel anxious. Like I cannot give myself this rest day
Mm-hmm.
because their whole self-worth is now linked to how they look.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're actually, for some people, it definitely helps and that's enough, but
Mm-hmm.
they probably already had this internal feeling of, I'm pretty good enough. Like some things I might not be happy with myself, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if our main goal of changing our body, if our main incentive for changing our body is so I can feel good enough and so people will finally accept me, because in the inside I feel like I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a durable approach. Like
Sure.
I think if you can combine it
Mm-hmm.
with working on your self-worth, it can be super valuable.
Yeah.
Because I did both.
Mm-hmm.
I worked on my body, on making myself healthier, building muscle. It makes you feel strong. It gives you some confidence because you're like, hey, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can have this goal and I can work towards it. But if that is not combined with a better self-image and
Yeah.
this feeling of inherent self-worth,
Mm-hmm.
it's it's just gonna fix the symptoms, but not what's going on inside.
Thank you very much. Now I have nothing else to add. Yeah. Nothing else to add, nothing to challenge. Yeah. Both are important. Yeah. And yeah, yeah, yeah. So let me ask you, like, would you mind sharing mm, your key turning points in life and how they
Mm,
affected your your philosophy, your view on things, things you share. Like, how did you get to the point where you are right now?
I'm s- I think there are three big turning points.
Hmm.
The first one was when I was working in a personal training studio,
Hmm.
and I like during this period I was feeling very insecure, like I was quite anxious. I had been done with middle school and I was doing a gap year and I was just going to the gym and working. So I
Hmm.
didn't have a lot of contact with people. And I like also some hormonal changes with like hormonal anticonception. So
Hmm.
I became like very socially anxious. Um, and really have this feeling like I need to do everything right. I cannot make mistakes.
Hmm.
I was always a little bit of a perfectionist, but like it became way worse then, or
Hmm.
like the negative consequences became way worse. And like I started working in a personal training studio, and I think like the first 6 months, I was so nervous before every personal training. Like
Hmm.
you'd think after a while it would get less, but I kept being like afraid that I wasn't good enough, that I was going to make a mistake, even though I was getting like the external um like validation, like you're doing a good job, like you're
Hmm.
you're really helping and stuff. And here I really learned to like I was trying to hide this. So I was trying to hide my insecurities. I was trying to hide my mistakes, trying to do everything perfect. And here I really learned to, instead of hiding it, um, lean into it more.
Hmm.
So do the things that made me feel scared, but also instead of constantly thinking like, oh, I hope nobody saw my mistake, or I hope nobody's looking at me so they cannot see if I don't do it well enough. I started to seek out feedback. So I started asking like, hey, did you see something I could have done better?
Hmm.
And when I stopped hiding and when I made room to make mistakes, like that feeling started flipping.
Hmm.
So I wasn't afraid to make mistakes anymore. I started really looking different at them. Like, hey, this is an opportunity for me to learn and doesn't mean that I'm not good enough or like I'm fixed in this state. Like I can really grow in this. So I think that was a very important period. Um, and like the last 1.5 years of my life have been very, very hectic, and I've gone through really big changes here. So about 1.5 years ago, I like in the Netherlands, we have this television program. Um, it's basically like they put 15 normal civilians through commando training,
Hmm.
like kind of like the Hell Week kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to like do this pro or like attend this program. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
For like years.
Yeah.
And 1.5 years ago, like I was like I sent out a video to them that I wanted to do the program, and I was picked with 15 other people out of like over 1,000 people to
Hmm.
actually join a television program.
Yeah.
And the like we had a month. When I heard that I was gonna be in the program, we had a month to prepare. And like in this month, I had so many responsibilities. Like I was doing master classes, we were doing like a challenge, I was working 2 jobs. I was like, there was so much going on, and I need to prepare for this television program. But because I never wanted to disappoint people, I kept doing everything together. And there was also some stuff going on in my personal life. So when the program was finally there, I was waking up every day like before my alarm, like panicking. Like there was so much stress in my body. Then when the program was finally there, I had nothing to give anymore, and I actually dropped out first. And for me, this was like still a little bit the perfectionism and that
Mm.
feeling like I have to prove myself. Like this television program was going to be the thing where I could like
Mm.
really prove myself and like show how like disciplined I am and how I never give up. And then I dropped out first.
Mm.
And like I felt so much shame and disappointment in myself. And like I've never felt shame that heavy before. Then like the day after I got home, like a friend, we got a call that a friend died, and like my 7 year relationship ended in the months after, and so many things kept like coming back to back.
Mm.
And while all that was happening in my personal life, I still knew that in a few months that television program was going to be aired on television for like millions of people. And like my whole identity kind of fell apart. Everything that I leaned on got like ripped out underneath me. And I've learned so much in that period
Mm.
about life, about myself. And it was really painful, but in the end, I'm glad I got to go through that the way that I did. Um, because like the most valuable lesson I think I learned from this is again has to do with that like feeling that you have to prove yourself or be good enough. Like once the program was aired, I got positive response and like that super heavy feeling went away. And there's this really beautiful quote that I love. I think it's from Alex Hormozy. I'm not sure if he is the original quote is for him from him, but it's like shame lives in the shadows.
Mhm.
So the moment that the things we're scared about, just like I learned in the personal training studio, like the moment we put our mistakes or the things we are afraid make us not good enough, the moment we put them in the light, it kind of loses its grip on us and it becomes less heavy. So I learned that on such a deep level then, which I think is really was really beautiful to learn. And I think it has really helped me now. I almost never feel ashamed again. Like sometimes I can
Mhm.
feel guilt, like, oh, I
Mhm.
did something wrong, but it's never like I am wrong,
Mhm.
which I think is super valuable. Um, and then last year I had like a difficult relationship where I really lost myself and my trust in myself and my experience and my feelings. And yeah, that was also a really difficult period. But this has also taught me so much about myself and about human behavior.
Mhm.
So yeah, even though all of these things were horrible experiences, I think in the end it has made me a lot more compassionate towards
Mhm.
myself and towards other people, made me understand myself better, other people better. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think often like these most difficult periods in our lives, they can become like our greatest lessons
Mm.
or our
Absolutely.
most valuable. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for sharing. Now I think I understand your story a little bit better. And
Yeah.
you mentioned about learning about human behavior, and I want
Mhm.
to combine this topic with perhaps intellectualization and perfectionism. They are human behaviors, of course, and we touched on perfectionism that it's not necessarily bad per se, um, but mm, um, or maybe let me ask you about it in a different way. Um, in terms of addictions in general, like how good is your understanding about addictions?
I am very interested in this topic. So we
Mm-hmm.
often, when it comes to addictions, we often think about like drug addictions or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Mm-hmm.
But almost all of us have addictions, and it's
Mm,
usually our way to numb something that's going on inside that we don't want to see. Um, so like most of us are actually in a way addicted to scrolling,
mm-hmm.
and it's a way to numb. And what's underneath is usually difficult feelings or shame.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And if we, especially because you included scrolling, if we use broader terms for addictions, would you say that intellectualization and perfectionism may be a form of addictions, especially in a broader term?
Intellectualization, yes, I think
Mm-hmm.
that can definitely become an addiction and a way to numb.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectionism, I wouldn't necessarily scale under addiction.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a way to numb, it's more a way to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
To avoid, it is more, wait, how can I make the distinction more clear? Um, we Yeah, I think that's the most easy way to say it. Like perfectionism is a way to avoid not feeling good enough, and addictions are often a way to numb this feeling that we're not good enough.
Did you say not feeling good enough, or
Yeah, like
to avoid not feeling good enough?
yeah, like avoid this feeling that we're not good enough or avoid difficult emotions.
Hmm. Okay, because it sounds like regular addictions, like drinking or drugs. They might have the same purpose to avoid feeling certain way.
Yeah. I think we often look at these things like they're very unrelated and they're super
Hmm.
different,
Hmm.
but in the basis it's the same.
Hmm.
Um, we all have these things which help us get away from what we don't want to see.
Mm.
So there's this beautiful quote. I'm probably gonna fuck it up, but it's like um, the growth you're or like the growth or like the change you're looking for is in the silence you're avoiding. So many of us are afraid to sit in silence because things come up, like certain beliefs about ourselves, certain feelings come up, and we don't want to be there. So what
Mm.
we do is we go to these behaviors. It can be scrolling, it can be drugs, it can be intellectualizing, whatever.
Mhm.
So we don't have to feel it, and we can get away from it. But in the end, this actually makes the feelings worse. So if you feel like I'm a loser, like I cannot get anything right. You want to get a relief from this feeling, so
Mm.
you use drugs or you go into your phone so you don't have to think about it. But when you're done, these numbing behaviors often make the feeling that you wanted to get away from worse. So you're
Mhm.
like, now I scrolled the whole day, or now I use drugs. Like I'm really a loser. Like I cannot do anything right. And then to get a relief from that feeling again, you need to use more, or you need to use again. And we get into this cycle where we are constantly numbing ourselves to get away from something, but the numbing behavior makes the thing we get away, try to get away from only worse.
Sure, absolutely. And so let's start with maybe perfectionism, because I think it's one of your biggest interests, if I may
Yeah.
say so. But can we agree that like the first non-negotiable step to get help, to help oneself, is to want to change something? Like, even if we agree that perfectionism is, let's say, toxic, bad for a person, if that person doesn't see a problem, then there's not much we could do. Would you agree with that, or?
I think a step comes before, and you already said it a bit, like awareness is the
Mm-hmm.
first step. So you need to become aware
Mm-hmm.
that you're acting in this way because many of us are just going through the motions, but we're not aware that we're actually doing it. I
Mm-hmm.
never knew I was perfectionistic.
Sure.
I was very protective of it because I thought like, yeah, but I always work hard and I always want to do stuff perfect, and it got me where I am. And in part that was true. So it's
Mm-hmm.
also not so black and white. It's not like it's good or bad. It gives us positives.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we want to hold on to these positives because we're not aware of all these negatives because
Yep.
we don't see it that
Yep.
they're related to this. So I think awareness is always the first step. And then, like you said, like wanting to change.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before I ask you what can we do if we see the problem, if we are aware of the problem, um, what would you do? Or maybe you have that experience already. What would you do if you saw a problem like addiction, like perfectionism, like anything that you really see that there is a problem in
Hmm.
somebody who is very close to you, but they don't see the problem? You know what I mean,
Um,
yeah? Like, let's say
yeah,
you're,
I know what
I
you
don't
mean.
know, a brother, a family member, or whatever. They are dealing with some addiction, but they are in denial. Is it addiction, or it's an addiction, or perfectionism, or whatever else? That you see, they are suffering because of that, but you also see that they do not see the problem.
Yeah.
What would you do
I
in
think
that
this is a
difficult,
tricky,
clearly
I
difficult
think,
situation?
yeah. Well, it's a thick, tricky thing because um, I because I know these things in myself, I recognize them in other people.
Mm.
And in the past, I would always want to help. Like I would want to help them feel better and help them see it. But I really learned that if people are not ready to see it,
Mhm.
or they many times people don't want to see it. Like you cannot help them. And I think it's important to realize this and recognize this before you try and help someone.
Mhm.
Um, and stay aware of this. Like you can, I think when you're like good friends or like good um yeah, like it could take a friend, for example. Like good friends, they don't keep their friends necessarily comfortable, but they give them out of love and out of compassion, like the uncomfortable truths.
Mhm.
So if you see someone is struggling with this and you think that they don't notice, I think it can be very valuable to say like, hey, I've been seeing you go through this, and I actually really don't think this is good for you. And I think like don't give them like your opinion too much, but ask them questions so they
Mhm.
can learn to see.
Yeah.
Like, so, hey, how is this like affecting you?
Mhm.
And like, um, what's going on with this? Like, really show compassion, show them curiosity, and you can kind of get a sense often about if they're open to it or not.
Mhm.
And if you feel like they're really not open to it, it might sound a bit cruel, but I think often like support these people where you can and where you need, but don't try to change them because that often makes it worse, makes them feel broken, and it kind of takes them away from their own agency. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
support them, love
Mm.
them, but yeah, give them the
Yeah.
space.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes letting go is the biggest influence you can make basically. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
liked what you said. So, but yeah, let's say we have someone who is aware of their perfectionism. Uh, where could I start? Let's say I can see um, I'm struggling with being perfectionist, and where can I start? Like maybe this is like too much. I don't think I can do this. Where could I start?
Well, I think it always starts with like kind of mapping out what's going on.
Hmm.
So, where is this actually helping me? Because that's probably the
Mm,
thing that's gonna keep you self-sabotaging because you're like, no, but I cannot give this up here
yeah,
because like if I let go of it, like everything will go to shit.
yeah.
So I think that is also important to acknowledge where it helps you,
Hmm.
but also start acknowledging and start looking at where it doesn't.
Yeah.
So where is it sabotaging you? Where is it causing you to maybe avoid things that you wanted to do or avoid taking opportunities? Where is it negatively influencing how you relate to yourself? So, you know, maybe you make a little mistake and you're up the whole night thinking about what you should have done different or how much you suck or how they're never going to like you anymore or stuff
Hmm.
like this. So it's really getting clear on the like complete impact that it has on your life.
Hmm.
And then you can start looking at like what is underneath it. I think this is often very important because all of these self-sabotaging behaviors, they're protecting something in ourselves. So, like often it comes from this feeling like, wait, let me just go back to
Hmm.
like our childhoods a little bit, like real quick,
Hmm.
how that actually develops. So, when we're born, like
Hmm.
we're not even aware of ourselves. We're just
Hmm.
good as we are. We just act on our needs. Like if
Hmm.
we are hungry, we just start crying, the world just responds to us. Over time, we become aware of ourselves.
Hmm.
And we learn like I'm not just good the way I am. I
Hmm.
need to obey to these rules.
Hmm.
So when I am really chaotic, or I don't clean up my stuff, or I'm yelling, like my parents get mad at me, or I'm being rejected, or whatever, like or we're punished. But when I'm quiet and I draw in between the lines and I keep my clothes clean, then I get love, I get affection, I get acceptance. And over time, we develop this belief like, I'm not good in my core. But if I do all these things, like if I apply to these rules that you have created yourself, basically, but
Hmm.
based on how the world responded to you, if I apply to all these things, then I'm going to be accepted and I get love, which is what we all crave, which is one of
Hmm.
the most important things for human beings. Because if we're rejected, especially when you're a child,
Hmm.
or in the past, for example, when we were living in tribes, if we get rejected, we get pushed out of the group. Like we're left to like survive
Mm-hmm.
the dangerous world alone, which we couldn't in the past. And you also cannot if you're a child.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to protect yourself, you make all these rules. And as you grow up, you never really see that these rules aren't the truth. So
Mm-hmm.
you believe if I make a mistake, I'm going to be rejected and I might die. Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't
Yep.
literally think this, but that's the feeling that's underneath.
Yep.
And um, so a very important aspect is learning what you're protecting and what rules you're trying to follow. And then
Mm-hmm.
over time, start to see that these rules aren't the truth, they're illusions that we believe that we have to follow in order to keep ourselves safe, but it's not true. We're already
Mm-hmm.
safe. And once we see this and um, we can understand this, that these rules aren't true, we can start breaking them in small
Yep.
ways. So make a mistake, not hide it. Do stuff that we know, like, I'm gonna suck at this.
Yep.
Like, I'm not gonna do this perfect, but I'm gonna do it anyways and learn that you'll live, that people do not reject you the moment you're not perfect at something.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, you collect proof for new beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
For example, hey, I can do something that I don't know yet, or that I really suck at in the beginning, and I can become better, and I actually really enjoy this. And um, if you start doing that more and more and more, that feeling of I need to hide these things, like I'm not good the way I am, need to apply to all these rules, that starts to change too. So first, it's like a cognitive thing. It's like you trust what I believe these rules, they're not true. And then when you start to act different, then it becomes more embodied.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Thank you so much. And it like how does it work in practice? Because what you shared, uh, I think most people would agree. Oh yeah, of course, I agree. I agree with you. But then when comes life, we would keep repeating the same mistakes. And so how
Yeah.
we could put that theory into practice?
Um, well, w- of course, I would recommend this. I'm a coach, no, but seriously, I've had a lot of like mentors and coaches myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think very often these rules, we're not aware of them and we can't really see them. So we often need another person
Mm-hmm.
to reflect it back at us. Like say like, hey, what you're doing here,
Mm-hmm.
like you think that that is true? That if you don't call your friends every week, they're gonna think you're a bad friend and they're gonna not want to spend time with you anymore. You think that's true?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then like other people can help you see them. So I think that can be very valuable. Your friends can also do this. A professional can help you with this.
Yeah.
Um, again, because awareness is the first step. What I always do with my clients is we literally make an overview of their rules.
Mm-hmm.
So we start looking at every area in your life. What rules do you have?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes people have like, I cannot disappoint anyone, or I have to make sure that I never talk about myself. Like I always need to make sure everybody else is taken care of and listened to. And if I talk about myself, like I'm gonna be burning, so I can't do this. Like we literally make a list of all these rules. We look at how they impact them, and if they know for sure that they're true, that these rules are true, and if we come to the conclusion that we either are not sure if they're true and they're not helping them, then we start setting a new standard. So they
Mm-hmm.
don't have to believe this standard yet, like
Yep.
on a embodied level, but they can cognitively see that maybe this rule is actually better. Um, so what's a good example for this? Yeah, I think the friend example can be a good one. So you have this belief, I need to be a good friend. I cannot make mistakes. I always have to be happy. I always have to make sure my friends are happy, can never disappoint them. Like many, many women, many people have these beliefs. They're constantly pushing their own needs away to accommodate other people's.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we can map out how that affects their lives, the negative impact of this. So you can start recognizing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we set a new rule that they can rationally also see, like, this is probably going to be a lot better for me. And I can see that it's true. So this can be, I um, I voice my own needs in my relationships, and I look for the people that give me the space to do this and that don't shame me for it. For
Mhm.
example, like this is a pretty um like practical guideline, and we can like look into how you can do that then. Like, okay, how am I gonna make sure I can like what things are gonna help me
Mhm.
to move that direction more. So it's really about creating this cognitive understanding first. And once it's there, it's more a like it's truly a bit about courage. Like you
Mhm.
have to, without having the physical proof yet that you're going to be okay, rely on your cognitive understanding. Like, I'm going to be safe if I do this. And even if some people are not going to like me anymore, or if some people are
Mhm.
going to be a bit resistant when I start voicing my own opinions and my own needs, um, it's okay. I'm going to be okay. And there is a lot of people that are gladly going to be my friend, and
Mhm.
probably my relationships can improve.
Mhm.
And I think what really helps is also having proof from people that have already did this.
Mhm.
So knowing like, hey, like for example, that girl that told me about her own experience, she was like me before, and
Mhm.
she made these changes, and now our relationships are better. She feels better about herself. So you can also get this proof from looking at, other people that were in the same situation as you.
Sure. Thank you very much. And I think what you said, that being supervised basically by someone who you can trust and being supported by this person is a massive, crucial part of the process, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
don't
yeah.
think.
Yeah. Go. Go.
I
Go.
don't think, thanks. I don't think I could have gotten to the place where I am right now if I wouldn't have had these coaches and these mentors myself, because
Mhm.
like so many things, I wasn't even aware of what was possible, or I wasn't even aware of my beliefs. Like again, another quote by I think it's not Alex or Moses' quote, but I know it from him. It's like we question all our beliefs except the ones we truly believe. Well,
Mhm.
I think it is actually is his quote, but except the ones we truly believe and we do not think to question.
Mhm.
So like we have all these blind spots,
Mhm.
and we just see them as the truth. And when we see something as the truth, we don't question it. It
Mhm.
just is what it is. And we need other people to call them out in order to see them.
Sure. Absolutely. Thank you. And you mentioned mm, disappointing people a couple of times um in your speech a few moments ago. But you
Yeah,
also mentioned that in one of the videos that it is okay to disappoint people sometimes. And my
yeah.
question is, when is it okay to disappoint people, and when is it not okay to disappoint people?
Um, my initial thought is it's always okay to disappoint people. Um, it depends though on the reasons why you do it and the way in which you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I have this friend and she loves to travel. So she traveled to Bali and she met her boyfriend there, and they're super happy together, and she wants to stay there for the rest of her life. But her parents, they're obviously upset about this, that they care about her, they love her, they want her there. Um, and she feels like she's disappointing her parents so much.
Mm.
Like, and she feels so guilty for it, but she is living the life that makes her the happiest. And um, like, yes, it's difficult for her parents, but I think if we're always trying to do the things that if we're always trying to avoid disappointing people, we're not going to be able to live the life that we actually want. And I think like what other people expect of us, that's not our responsibility.
Sure. Okay, that's a good example of when it is okay to disappoint people. How about when is it not okay to disappoint people in your view?
I think this really comes down to values. So, like, just like not even your personal values, just also just a moral code that we all like kind of like not have to apply to, but that, well, in a way, yes. Like, for example, this can be also different for different people, but say I have the value, like if I make an appointment with someone,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not gonna cancel it. And I think this is something like if you're it's so context dependent. Like even here, like if something really comes up or you're really not feeling good or like if you do it honestly and you say like, "Hey, I was really looking forward to it, but I'm like my week was so busy and I just cannot deal with it right now. Like, can we reschedule?" Like
Mhm.
I think you can still disappoint people and do it honestly, but it's really in how you do it. Like if you share openly, if it's genuine, and it comes from like a loving place, I'm I'm always almost want to say like it's never wrong to disappoint people.
Sure, sure. I like what you said that it's context dependent. It is really context dependent, and you
Yeah,
also share that it is about values. It is about your values.
yeah.
And is it okay if I share a little bit of my view on here? It's not really a view.
Yeah.
It's basically
Interesting.
stating certain
Interesting.
obvious facts that are pretty obvious. But when it comes to disappointment, I think it's I like I like noticing certain elephants in the room. Um, that like how does the disappointment actually work in the basic fundamental construction? It's my action and your perception, right? So even if I do something very noble, like that, everybody will be proud of me. Even my mom will be proud of me. And oh, this was great. And you can still be disappointed, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think generally like noticing that if it's a disappointment or it is a praise or validation, it's on some fundamental level outside of my control is
Yeah.
liberating, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's it has nothing to do with you. It has something to do with the other person's expectations of you, which you never
Again,
set.
it does have something
Or
to
a
do
little
with
bit.
me, but yeah, it's yeah
Yeah,
yeah
yeah.
yeah 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 yeah. It's
No,
still
well,
related. It's still related,
yeah.
but there is never guarantee that what I do
Yeah.
will have certain perception from yeah um yep
Yeah, the reason I said it has nothing to do with you is
sure
because other people's perceptions of you says more about them than about you. So,
yep
of course, you helped set the expectations in a
sure
way that other
sure
people have of you. So, if you're always on time, like always you're on time, and
mm-hmm,
then you're one time you're an hour late, like
mm-hmm,
someone is gonna be really disappointed in you because they have this expectation that you're
mm-hmm,
gonna be on time.
mm-hmm,
So, of course, it has something to do with you, but in the example I gave of my friend, for example, their parents had the expectations like our daughter is going to live close to us and
mm-hmm.
she's going to
Sure
live this life that we want
yeah
or that we hope she lives. And then she doesn't um, live in line with that expectation. And then
yeah
there's disappointment.
yeah absolutely. I was about to ask
Yeah.
about something else, but now when you touched about the this example that one person has expectations about another person's behavior, um, I think maybe we could stay within the relationship topic. mm, what would you say is like the fundamental, let's say, characteristics of a good healthy relationship? We could concentrate on the
Mm,
romantic relationship, but I have this phrase that I often repeat that I think it's an international phrase that it's a I forgot the mathematics in English. That you have um, I forgot what's the square, and the other
yeah.
one is like square is just a particular example of the bigger group of this.
Mhm.
What do you have here?
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
that whatever fundamental characteristic of a good, healthy relationship is, it will be included in all relationships, not just romantic relationships. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the most important thing in any relationship is acknowledging that you're not perfect, the other person isn't perfect,
Mhm.
but when you communicate openly and genuinely, um, most things can be solved.
Mhm.
So I think in this way, it's you're two different entities that have no clue what's going on in each other.
Mm,
So this is the thing you should communicate. Instead of having these expectations and saying like you did that wrong, like and now you're messing everything up and you're such a this and you're such a that. Instead of doing this, it's like, hey, you did this thing and that made me feel like this. Like, can we talk about it? And it's like learning each other what is going on inside of you and talking about it openly and teaching each other in how to accommodate what you need best. And sometimes the other person is going to be like, no, like, fuck you, I'm not going to do that.
yeah.
That's also okay. But
Hmm.
it's about like finding the relationships and where you can both agree
Hmm.
on like treating each other in a way that where you can both feel safe and loved and
Hmm.
uh, feel like you can be yourself.
Sure. Thank you
And
very much.
sometimes it
Yep.
doesn't work out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes like the things that two people need and can give, they don't match. And then, it's okay to end something, to end a friendship, to end a relationship.
Absolutely. Yeah. I liked when you said it in your first sentence that most problems can be solved. You don't leave much room for my challenging you, like, no, does every problem can be solved, and so on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and let me come back to something you said about the moral values and whether everything is context dependent. Basically, um, I touch about one philosophical subject of free will, but I want to ask about something that is related to it, and maybe you could share your view um, about morality, about your sense of morality. Like, do you believe in something like objective morality, or does everybody have their own rules? And like, is there something higher than subjective morality, if you know what I mean? Like,
I've
can we
thought
can we
about this a
basically
lot.
example, can we agree that killing somebody is bad, or is it objective or subjective?
Yeah. So I think there's certain things we all kind of agree on that it's a bad thing to do.
Hmm.
And we have to do this to keep society kind of safe. So if someone kills someone, we all kind of agree like this is not okay. This having this person in society has a negative effect. Do I think this person had free will to do this? Maybe not. Maybe they had no free choice, but we all agree it's safer if this person is not walking around in society.
Hmm.
But there's definitely also a subjective part to morality. So I think my example of me being vegan,
Hmm.
this really made me think about this a lot because when I became vegan because I watched the documentary. It was called Earthlings, and they look at every industry where animals are used and how these animals are treated. I also grew up on a farm, so I knew it wasn't like I kind of know like what it looks like, what reality looks like, how it can be for these animals. I felt it, I looked at it. Not that they're mistreated here, but like it's yeah, we're just using them like their products. And after I watched that documentary, I thought, if I tell this to people, like they're gonna have the same response to me because I never realized it was like this. I was like, if they're gonna watch this documentary, like
Hmm.
they're gonna
Yeah.
also be so disturbed by it, they're gonna stop eating meat. So in the beginning, I really tried to like make people see it or like explain it to people, and people didn't respond in the way that I thought. Even people that watched the documentary with me, they were like, yeah, I don't know why this has so much impact on you, but like, I'm just gonna keep eating meat.
Yeah.
And I realized that we all have like a different tolerance
Hmm.
for I don't know how to phrase it, but like the hurt or discomfort we can put others through.
Hmm.
Um, to make ourselves feel good.
Hmm.
And that doesn't make one person better than the other. It has a lot to do with like genetics,
Yep.
upbringing,
Yep.
situations we've been to in our lives. And I don't think like it's not that I am better because I
Hmm.
see that documentary and think like I can never eat meat again because this is so horrible. It's just I have had different experiences and I'm a different person. But I do think that there are some things that we should agree to that it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, to like we all have this level, this where we were gonna cut off and say this level of pain for others, I cannot, I cannot, what's the word?
Tolerate?
Say like, okay, yeah, not tolerate, like, um, I cannot say like, okay, my pleasure or my benefits from
Okay.
it cannot justify any more
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
pain for
Okay.
others. So we all have a cutoff level.
Mm-hmm.
For
Mm-hmm.
me, it's for example, animal abuse. For someone else, it will be child abuse. For someone else, it will be this. But there is gonna be a level where we all have to agree.
Mm-hmm.
If someone goes past this, they're gonna have to have consequences.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna have to have
Yeah,
consequences.
yeah. We are somewhere on this line.
Yeah.
Yeah, some are more extreme, some are more extreme on the other side of the spectrum. But yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Um, let me ask about maybe two more things to like more down to earth a little bit. Surely we are not able to touch everything that could be of interest, but well, hi, uh, we have whole lives ahead of us.
Yeah.
So one thing is I want to ask about your experience with creating a YouTube channel and running a YouTube channel. Mm, what would you say are your main challenges when doing that work? Like maybe pros and cons. Like what does it give you, and what does it take away from you? Like what is the cost? What is the challenge? And yeah, could you share a little bit of that of your personal process in that?
Yeah. Well, I think what it gives me, many of these videos, it's not even necessarily them like, okay, well, yes, I want to help people, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also just a way for me to get my thoughts organized.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually learn a lot about my own opinions and about my own view and perspectives of things while
Mm-hmm.
writing these videos, and while like looking deeper into the topics. So that is definitely a benefit,
Mm-hmm.
also because it's very intrinsic. I really enjoy making them and then like having this kind of more, I don't want to say packaged belief because then it sounds so like stuck in your thing, but like having this more, yeah, packaged idea, which really helps also in my personal life, in my work that I do with people, because like you have these sentences and frameworks that can help you,
Mm-hmm.
can guide you, can help you guide other
And may I
people.
ask how
So
much
that's,
are they scripted?
I script them completely. Yeah.
Okay, so basically
Yeah.
word for word.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds
And
very
I
natural, but
will,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, thanks. Well, I just kind of learn it from the top of my head and then I say it.
Nice,
So I'm not
nice.
like reading it from a teleprompter.
Well done.
But thanks. It's not the whole thing like I learn in one piece, but it's like
Yeah.
piece by piece I kind of
Mm-hmm.
learn it and then
Mm-hmm.
I will say it, but I'll add some stuff every now and then where it feels good or feels
Mm-hmm.
natural.
Sure. Thanks.
But the thing is, like, I want them to be as precise and as like, I want there to be as much value per second as I can, because our attentions. Well, I wanted to say our attention spans are really bad, but then I heard this thing. People were like, no, people's attention spans are not bad. They can literally watch at a full movie that's 2 hours. It's like when people cannot listen to you, you're just not saying something interesting enough. So I also kind of like that. So that's yeah, that's also the reason why I script them.
Okay, thanks. And
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, what other benefits? Well, what I also really, really love is people sharing their opinions or sharing their experiences. Um, on YouTube, I find that people do this a lot more easily because they're like watching like a long video. I'm sharing more about myself than on like Instagram or TikTok, for example, which I really love. And well, another benefit is this is more external, but like in my experience, it's way harder to grow on TikTok and Instagram, and YouTube is like uh, I don't know if it's true, but for me, the algorithm works a lot better. So that's also rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. And like, what are the main challenges you experience? Are there any?
Mm,
Maybe it's like smooth sailing and everything is
yeah.
perfect.
Well, I think here I'm not diagnosed, but I think I have well, no, I don't think. I'm like 99% sure I have ADHD. And every time something goes wrong, like I have to record almost all my videos twice because sometimes I forget to plug in my microphone. Sometimes I my camera is not in focus. Then I lose the video. Then I edit the full thing and I lose the edits. Like every time something goes wrong. So that's definitely a downside. Uh, it does kind of like it helps me stay calm in these situations.
Mm.
So, but yeah, I have to say I haven't had big downsides. I
Hmm.
haven't experienced those. Yeah.
Cool. Everything's ahead of you.
Do you?
Like
I'm curious.
yeah, like things that you mentioned about, dealing with the equipment and like something like I didn't click
Yeah.
something necessary. It's like it's like I'm frustrated. Uh but yeah,
Yeah.
I try to manage my expectations and try to keep readjusting basically. If something is a consistent reoccurring problem, I want to address it and maybe change a little or change my expectations and yeah. So it's a part of the growth, part of the process, part of the journey basically.
Yeah.
This is what it is. That's the job, basically.
Yeah.
Uh
What
yeah,
what are your favorite parts of it, doing YouTube?
I would say, well, I have created my YouTube channel over 9 years ago already, and there were different seasons I have gone through. And at the beginning, I just wanted to express myself and got some maybe validation, maybe feel that I belong somewhere, that there are other people who have similar experiences, that I am not the only odd one. And
Mm.
this was like the first season. Um, and then my attitude, my approach were like they were changing basically. And as of now, I'm not a try hard anymore, I would say. Like
Mm.
basically, this was where my biggest challenge was, that me trying to express certain topic. I'm very grateful for my perspective, and I want, like, this is something you shared about vegan, that if you have this perspective and you express it to somebody, they will feel the same thing. And this is why I laughed when you say that,
Yeah.
because it's very close to my heart.
Yeah.
It's very relatable.
Yeah.
I tried to deal with some family issues of mine maybe 15 years ago, and that was so naive approach I had. If I just
Mm.
tell you what is the
Yeah.
true, you will know the true, and we'll do whatever is necessary. And
Yeah.
so I was a
Yeah.
tryhard in terms of recording a monologue. 99% of my monologues were not scripted. Basically, I had the picture in my mind. It was a great picture, and I will just describe you the picture, and then you will see the same picture, and then no, this is not
Yeah.
the right picture, and
Doesn't work like that.
this is not the
Yeah,
picture I
sadly.
tried to paint. And
Yeah.
basically, by mostly by managing my expectations, but also because of getting naturally more competence in terms of public speaking, you could call it this
Yeah.
way, and basically expressing my thoughts, it's easier and easier. But mostly, I think managing my expectations helped me radically. That I know that basically, even I said that 5 minutes ago, that we will not touch every subject of that picture we could try to paint.
Yeah.
You have a picture in your mind, I have a picture in my mind, but there are two different pictures, like you mentioned in
Yeah.
about relationships. And maybe we don't have to paint the full picture. Maybe we could just briefly express what the picture is about, and then maybe we could go deeper and deeper in further episodes of sorts. So managing my
Yeah.
expectations and building community is something that is currently my season. So some
Nice.
Zoom calls and retreats and integration and like workshops. This is something that is on my mind. And yeah, basically also challenging um, my thoughts, my perspective, like especially by asking right questions with other people. So I like when the comment section is engaged, and
Yeah,
especially
you're good at
if
that,
it's
asking
yeah, yeah,
questions.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So yeah, definitely. So thanks for asking. Yeah, so yeah. Um, I think that would be the final question. Like, what is your vision for the future? You could mention both personal and professional um, level. That was one of the topic, like what is the difference between work and life, work-life balance, and so on. But basically, how do you see your vision of the future over the next, I don't know, 5, 10, 20 years, whatever? Like, what are you
Yeah.
aiming at, basically? What would be
Yeah.
the best case scenario, realistically speaking, at least?
Well, like you already said, like for me, work and life, it's really hard to like see them separate. Like work is so much a part of the work I do is so driven by my personal interests and my personal mission and my personal vision that
Hmm.
like for me it's the same thing almost.
Sure.
Um, so my vision for this is to really keep growing my YouTube, keep sharing my own experiences, helping
Hmm.
other people with this, like really um, building on this. I'm building a course also, just
Hmm.
like keep sharing, hopefully reaching more people. And at the same time, also learning how I can combine this with the life I really want to live. So, like I already touched on in the beginning, um, like a month ago, I guess, I came back from Bali. So I stayed there with one of my best friends for 2 months, and like both of us loved it. So now we're gonna go back probably for 6 months, and this is something I really enjoy. Like I'm really curious about the world and like experiencing new things, meeting new people, having like conversations like this, which
Hmm.
I really enjoy.
Thank you.
So like I'd say like if I can keep doing these things and like moving towards this, being able to keep giving value, exploring, like just having these beautiful conversations with people, like that is the goal. It's not like I have like this goal, like I need to make this much money or I need to get to this point and then it's gonna be like everything is gonna be okay. You know, it's like this like never ending journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's
describe it.
a beautifully expressed, um, beautifully painted picture of the future. Uh, yeah. So
Yeah,
thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
thank you.
I really enjoyed the conversation. It was yeah. I think I thought that I got to know you even a little bit better, even though I prepared for this conversation quite well. So thank you very much, and I wish
Yeah.
you all the best. Uh, I'll keep following you, and yeah, I'll keep rooting for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you also for the beautiful questions and for having me.
Thank you very much, and have a great day. Bye bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye bye.